Taking care of business on 95.3 WBEV and Daily Dodge TV. Happy to have you along. It is the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce joining us today, and they are here to join us once again, as they have earlier in the month, to celebrate Manufacturing Month. Obviously, Beaver Dam and Dodge County, a huge hub of manufacturing, provides so many jobs to folks in our area, and a big part of our economy. So we love getting a chance to catch up with some of our area manufacturers, learn what they're all about, because I think there's a lot of folks out there that maybe don't know about a lot of the manufacturers that are in our area and some of the products coming out of this area. So really excited. We're going to be visiting with a couple of different manufacturers here this morning. And first up on the block is Peter Emenecker, who is with the owner with Paper Dimensions LLC. Welcome to the program, Peter.
Hi, Kale.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Paper Dimensions LLC here, located here in Beaver Dam. Where are you guys located at?
We're at 1101 DeClark Street.
Okay,
so
right
we're
there
just
at DeClark.
5 minutes away.
You're on the, I think if I remember right, you're kind of on the very north end of DeClark Street, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, talk a little bit about what the business and what it is you guys do at Paper Dimensions LLC.
Paper Dimensions, what we do is it's a pretty easy business. We take big rolls of paper that we get from the paper mills. So some of them are 8,000 pounds.
Wow.
72 to 113 inches wide. And we slit them into narrow rolls for different converters, different end users.
Wow. How long, I mean, if they're that many pounds, like how much length is to one of those rolls on average? Any idea?
Some of the thinner paper, it can be like 47,000 feet.
Probably almost that. I mean, do you have enough rolls of paper to wrap around the earth in your warehouse right now?
I'm sure we do.
Probably, yeah. It's always fun. It would be fun to kind of figure out a comparison of, like, if you just shot it straight up into the sky, like how far into space would it be? Would it reach like Venus or what? Well, talk a little bit about the history of the business. When did it get started and how?
1972 is when it started. The previous owner, Mike Camps, his dad and his partner started it. They had been in the food packaging industry and decided to start a small company. They had some opportunities to slit different materials for the company they had worked for, and they started it about 1972, and then grew it and did some different things. They did different things along the line. They did some wax coating of paper. They did some different types of converting, but really ended up we're doing rewinding and slitting. Okay. So that's really what the business has been probably for the last 20 years. 20
years or so. Any idea why they chose kind of the paper processing industry? Was there anything in particular? Or it was just a need that needed to be filled?
I think it was a need that needed to be filled. In the early 70s, a lot of things were going towards flexible plastic packaging. And there was an opportunity for them. From my understanding, there was a business that, they were getting out of something, slitting, and that was an opportunity for them to start and have a cornerstone account right out of the gates.
And then when did you get involved, and how did all that happen?
Well, we bought it about 4 years ago. Actually, be 4 years ago in January. Mike Camps, I had known him and the other previous owner, Scott Soldner, for 25 years. Over those years, I had sold to them tubes and cores, and I bought from them paper. So we had a relationship. Mike was looking to retire. Scott had already retired, and we just started talking.
Huh. Very interesting. So just kind of conversation naturally led to owning a company.
Yep. I'd been involved in other companies before and owned other companies as well, and I was kind of in between things. I just previously sold a company for a family and decided to, what am I going to do next? Getting towards the tail end of my career maybe.
Okay.
And what do I want to do next, and why do I want to do it?
Yeah. Were you involved in this industry before, or just ownership of some other types of businesses?
I've been in paper and packaging for pretty much as long as I can remember.
Okay.
So I'm originally from New London, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
And the fact is, food packaging, a lot of food packaging really came out of New London, Wisconsin. A company called Kerwood started flexible packaging back in the late 50s, and that's where my dad worked. So I grew up with flexible packaging, and I got into paper packaging a little bit later in my career.
Okay. Now you guys are over on Clark Street. How large a facility do you have over there?
Our facility is 47,000 square feet.
Okay.
So we have 5 operating rewinders over there that we're running on 2 shifts.
Do you know about how many people you employ over there?
Yeah, we have 25.
25 folks.
So we have a full first shift and a partial second shift.
Okay, very good. Obviously you guys are doing some paper processing, doing slitting, things like that. So you guys are kind of in the line of the manufacturing. When you guys are done with what you do, where is that going, and who is kind of that final end user of those paper products?
Oh, we got some interesting customers. We don't do a lot of printing grades. That's a high volume market, and really our business is set up for doing shorter runs. We still do long runs. I mean, we'll run a truckload of paper, for a customer. But typically we're doing shorter runs and doing specialized stuff. So we get some interesting customers. One customer, we cut a 5/8 inch wide ribbon for them. And I was kind of like, well, what's somebody using? It's a red material. And if you look at the fire extinguisher over there, there's a little round circle that's holding that tag in there.
Yeah.
And on that round circle, we cut the paper for that.
No kidding.
So for probably a large percentage of the tags when you walk in past fire extinguishers, we're cutting the paper in Beaver Dam.
Wow. I always love, and this is why, I said at the top of the program, there's so many things that get made here in Beaver Dam, or at least part of the process that you're going to see anywhere you go almost, and you may not realize that Beaver Dam manufacturing played a role in that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have, some of the customers, we do also steel packaging paper. It's called steel interleave. Some of the customers that use that make really high-end stainless steel, and in between the sheets or the coils of stainless steel, they put the paper to protect it from scratching. And when you hear about, the paper cost is fairly minimal, because those coils and that sheeted product's like $80,000 for a truckload. But if the paper fails, then you got bad stainless steel, and
suppose.
So we have some customers like that. We also do some food packaging grades. Some of the ice cream companies, we cut paper for the big barrels, the big tubs of ice cream that you see when you go to get your ice cream.
Sure. Oh, very neat. So real variety of end use for your products, really.
Well, most of our stuff, it's not the standard grades. It's mostly industrial and some food packaging grades. They're very specialty for paper.
So not necessarily ending up as greeting cards or things like that.
No.
Yeah. No. Talk about over the years. What is there been any changes or innovations in your industry that you've seen?
Well, I think most of the innovation has went towards automation, making facilities more productive, making it easier for the employees as far as handling. I mean, you're handling the rolls that we do. When they come in, they're 7,000, 8,000 pounds, but still some of our finished rolls are 100, 200, 400 pounds. And so automation towards roll handling. When you look at some of the machines and how fast they run, I mean, we have one of our machines runs 5,000 feet a minute. So you're running a lot of paper through there at a time. So you're looking at speed, productivity is a lot. The slitting stuff has really stayed the same for a number of years. I mean, you basically have a slitting blade. There's a couple different ways of doing it, but that stuff's been around for quite a while.
Okay. Is there any part of the business or anything about the business that you find yourself particularly proud of?
Yeah, I think what I like is we are problem solvers. So there's some stuff that we do for customers that, they're looking for a solution, and I have the people there that can figure out how to, slit something 5/8 an inch. If you see the rolls, it's kind of crazy when you look at them, and they're very small, and they're 50 inches in diameter. So, I mean, you have a roll that's this wide and that big. So so you look at the problem solving and being able to do things other people don't want to do. I like what I see out of my group, and that they think of how to fix a problem or how to solve something, and that's what makes me proud.
I find what you guys do so interesting and fascinating because paper is just, I think, one of those products in our lives that we maybe take for granted. We just don't really, it's not really on top of our minds, but it's involved in so many things.
Oh, you see paper all the time, and you're going to see more of it as it comes on because, with the packaging and going towards sustainability, there's a lot of people that are looking for opportunities to, use that rather than plastic-based packaging.
Yeah, you make a great point. Is with this push for more eco-friendly pushing, paper, you have a recyclable product there, and it's just becoming more and more popular as an option.
Yeah, it really is, and you see it in the supermarkets. We're starting to see more of that. People are looking for how they can make grades so that they can ship, chips and nuts and coffee and that type of stuff in paper-based packaging.
We're chatting with Peter Emenecker, owner of Paper Dimensions LLC here in Beaver Dam, part of Beaver Dam Area Area Chamber of Commerce's Manufacturing Month celebration, and. So do you see Paper Dimensions LLC getting into the paper straw making game?
Oh, I don't know about paper straws. That goes back to what I used to do in making tubes and cores. I tell you the truth, I love the paper industry, but I'm not a fan of paper straws.
Okay.
So
fair enough. Don't have to be. Let's talk about employment. You had mentioned you employ about 25 folks. Any career opportunities available over there?
Yeah, we're looking to hire people, and talking to a lot of industries are. I think the neat thing about a small company, and I spent most of my career in smaller companies, maybe up to 50 million in sales, where you know everybody, and that's the kind of person I'm looking for and talking about is they want to work at a place where they're a name, not a number, and we have opportunities for operator positions, for just starting out entry level positions, and the thing that's neat about it is as we grow, it gives them a chance to grow in their career development as well. So I think we're all about training people and getting people, if they want to go to school or do something like that, getting them on board, because the more they learn, the more they bring to the table. So I like people that want to grow and improve, and if that's what they want to do, it'd be it's a nice spot.
If anybody out there is looking for a career change, or maybe even their first career, that one of those entry level positions, and they say, "Why Paper Dimensions?"
Well, I look at it as a smaller company or 25 employees is that you have the chance, if you really want to do something, you can move. You can become the next level. You can grow your career. You can learn a lot because you're in a smaller company. You have access to all the people and management. I'm out there on the floor all the time. So, we're, at a larger company, you're talking to a supervisor. If you have an idea, you can come up and talk to me about it. So that's what I've always liked about smaller companies, because I like working with people.
We are with Peter Emenecker, owner of Paper Dimensions LLC. Just about out of time with you, Peter, but anything else that you want folks to know about Paper Dimensions LLC?
I think, I think the company has a lot of room to grow, especially with all the paper packaging and other things that are going on in the world today. And if they want to grow and they want to do something, make an impact, I think we'd be a company they should look towards.
So, and one of my last question was going to be, what does the future look like? Sounds like hopefully some growth.
That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
We're definitely aiming to grow.
Very good. That's Peter Emenecker, owner of Paper Dimensions LLC here in Beaver Dam. Peter, great to chat this morning.
Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate it, Cal.
It's Taking Care of Business here on 95.3 WBEV, Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce Manufacturing Month. When we come back, we'll visit with another one of our great local manufacturers here on Taking Care of Business on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. And welcome back to Taking Care of Business here on 95.3 WBEV, 28 minutes after 11 o'clock. And again, it's a Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce Manufacturing Month celebration here on Taking Care of Business. It's been really fun all this month getting to visit with a number of manufacturers from the Beaver Dam area. So many of them here, and so many folks employed by these manufacturers. So it's always great to learn a little bit more. Really enjoyed getting to chat with Peter Emenecker from Paper Dimensions LLC. Now we are joined by Ben Brewer from Brewer Metal Craftsman. How you doing, Ben?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I think for folks that have been in this area a while, probably a pretty solid chance they've heard the name Brewer Metal. Talk a little bit about Brewer Metal and what you guys do there.
Yeah, Brewer Metal. We have we're a fourth generation owned and operated family business. We've been here, Beaver Dam, since 1947. That's when we first opened the doors. Incorporated in 1955. We specialize in architectural miscellaneous metals. So we're more of the custom metal fabrications. We supply to a lot of general contractors in the Midwest, but some of our products do reach around the nation and even around the globe. So.
You mentioned that it started in 1955. Ben, I got to be honest, you don't look like you were born before 1955, but you do hold that last name Brewer. So this is a next generation of brewers. Are you second generation?
I'm fourth generation.
Fourth generation.
Yep,
wow.
Correct.
So your great grandfather started Brewer Metal Craftsman back in 1955. I feel like this might have an obvious answer, but can you talk a little bit about your history and how you got involved?
Oh yeah, I've been working there since I was a little kid. I used to push a cart around with a paper box, pick up cigarette butts on the floor. I don't think they paid me anything, but I was.
Has the statute of limitations run out on that one? I think.
So we're good. High school, I worked in there during the summer times. Went to college, worked again in the shop during the summer times. When I graduated in 2010, the economy was kind of in rough shape. I looked for jobs in other places, and I just went back home, and I've been there ever since. So.
I was going to ask you, it's kind of, obviously, being in the family, it having grown up around the business might seem like an obvious choice, but you did look at other options, and this is kind of where you landed.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more in detail about some of the different metal products you're making in there and kind of some of the specific stuff you're doing?
Be happy to. We like to think that we're more of a custom shop. So things that most fabricators or structural steel houses would not even attempt to do, that's what we like to do. We like to do the stuff that's just really difficult, time-consuming, and tedious. We have a really great crew, highly skilled, a lot of experience, and they can get the stuff done that other fabricators probably can't. So.
Talk about some of the products that you're pushing out. Where do those end up, and kind of who is your customer base?
Our general contractors, Midwest. We do a lot of work for municipalities, so wastewater treatment plant, water treatment plant. We also do work in commercial projects, hospitals, schools. We've even done some prisons, jails, right? Where else? Yeah, but we do a lot of more of the decorative portions of those. I know there's a lot of like the main entries of a hospital. There might be a big monumental stair right there as you walk in. We would be the ones providing that.
So it sounds like you guys really do have that ability to really do these custom metal fabricating jobs.
Correct.
Where is, I should have asked this earlier, where is Brewer Metals located, and how big a facility you guys have?
Yeah, we're on Bickel Avenue, which is right off the side of the highway, kind of, I think, by Matera, right?
You guys are you had a short drive over. You're like walked right down the road from us practically.
Correct, yep. We have an 85,000 square foot fabrication shop, and I think our office is about 10. There's, I think, 45 employees.
Okay.
So
45 employees. So you've obviously, you've been familiar with the business since you were a kid, which makes this even more insightful. Talk about, has there been different changes in the industry or the business or innovations that you've seen over the years?
Yeah, I would say there is definitely a big push on technology. There's a lot faster ways to do things, even from just, it used to be fax machine to email. But now it's no longer printing blueprint drawings, it's looking at them on a computer screen. There's also things out into the shop that are a little bit more advanced. CNC robotics, we don't have the robotics part of it, but that definitely does help with the technology, and that is just a way to increase the production and decrease the actual manpower necessary.
Have you seen a lot of technology upgrades in your machines, or are a lot of them still kind of the way they've always been?
I think the way that they've always been, really.
Okay.
We something about just working the metal the same way, that old blacksmith technique is something that we pride ourselves in. We have a good skilled we have a good skilled employees, right? And they really know how to do it that old school way.
You guys have been around for quite a while. You've been in Beaver Dam. Have you built any relationships or any partnerships with any other area manufacturers or businesses or things like that?
Yeah, we do. Because we're more of the architectural miscellaneous, we spend a lot of time working with more of the structural steel fabricators, and those guys do the big beams, columns, and purlins, whatnot, for the structure that's being put up, and they might contract us the miscellaneous package of a structure. So we have a lot of structural steel fabricators that we do work for to get it done.
Okay, very good. Is there any particular part of Brewer Metal Craftsman that really just gives you a sense of pride?
Yeah, it's definitely the employees.
Okay.
They have the passion, the enjoyment that they have in their job, the level of interest, always wanting to do better, make things better. I think it's definitely very, very proud about who we have working for us.
Let's talk about the people. Do you? I imagine you've probably got a pretty spread out staff from experience to life experience.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the career opportunities that are available.
Yeah, that's the thing about manufacturing or our business, at least, is everybody thinks of a metal fabricator as somebody on the shop floor, somebody working on a saw or welding and et cetera, right? And that's a good portion of it, but there's so much more beyond that. There's an engineering department, there's an estimating department, there's business administration, accounting, et cetera. And so there's really a lot of career opportunities at our business or in other businesses or other manufacturing businesses as well. So,
guys offer a pretty good benefits package for folks who are out there.
I like to think so.
Yeah,
I like to think so. Yeah,
competitive at least. Yeah,
correct.
At the very minimum.
Yep.
Where do you see for the future of the business?
I think we're going to try and lean more on technology.
Okay.
There's some really cool, really interesting pieces of equipment out there that would definitely help increase the production, decrease some of that labor necessary. Lasers, their tube lasers are pretty great, and that's definitely something I think we're going to try and look into. That's going to help. And that's going to really help grow our business quite a bit.
I know that our pal Ninja is incredibly sad that he can't be here hosting today because he could probably spend another 30 minutes with you talking about lasers. He just got he's a bit of a handyman himself. He's got a couple of different machines. He's got an engraving machine, and he just got a really fancy laser, and he's been working a lot of projects, and I know he nerds out about that stuff. So he's at home right now, get really jealous that we get to have that conversation because you are starting to see see a lot of those new tech. I mean, we're seeing that technology creep in every part of our lives. Cars have a lot of, but you're starting to see it in your business too, in your industry. Yeah.
Yep.
What else should we know about Brewer Manufacturing?
Yeah, I guess we've been here for a lot of years, and we're here to stay. There is a great base that we have there. Our current owners have really set us up in a good place. There's a lot of work for us, municipality work. They're doing construction projects every year, and we're here to stay. And yeah.
And I'm not mistaken. This is kind of off the cuff here, but if I'm not mistaken, I think you've got a number of family involved in the business. If I'm not mistaken, right?
I do. There's a number of us.
Yeah. There's a couple of brewers over there. I feel like when I chat over there, it's up. There's another brewer over there. My goodness, how many of there are you? We're talking with Ben Brewer from Brewer Metal Craftsman here in Beaver Dam as we celebrate Manufacturing Month with the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce. Ben, anything else you wanna get out there before we let you go?
No, I don't think so. Thanks so much for the opportunity. It was good speaking with you, and I hope I represented us well.
Absolutely. That is, again, Ben Brewer from Brewer Metal Craftsman. Always great to visit with so many of our area manufacturers. And, of course, Brewer Metal, a name that's been here a long time. A lot of folks in this community familiar with that. So it's awesome to get to learn just a little bit more about the business. We've got more Taking Care of Business coming up after the break here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Visited with Peter Emmenecker from Paper Dimensions LLC earlier. Just got done chatting with Ben Brewer from Brewer Metal Craftsman as well. Some great insight into those businesses and what they're doing here in the Beaver Dam community. Excited to be joined by our final guest on the show today. We have with us Nate Olson with the Community Development. He is the Community Development Administrator for the County of Dodge County. Welcome, Nate.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first and foremost, let's get to know you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your background and what it is you do at the county.
Yeah, I'm the Community Development Administrator, and it's a wide-ranging job that jack of all trades, master of none type of deal. But
I read the title and I went, this guy wears a number of hats. That's my guess.
It's everything from tourism, workforce, business attraction, retention, parks and rec. It's kind of all over the place.
All right, very good. And what did you have? What's your history?
So the history of me is obviously, as my title says there, I'm all over the place, working in many different areas. But the main reason why I'm here today is because of the partnership that we have with the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Working with Tracy Probst over there administering the Manufacturing Business Alliance of the Dodge County region. Yeah,
you may hear throughout our conversation, you may hear MBA being thrown around. That is the Manufacturers Business Alliance. How did you get involved in the NBA?
Yeah, working for Dodge County, one of the areas I work in is not only workforce, but then is resident attraction and retention.
Okay.
And working with our employers to have places where people can work, call their home. And it really kind of comes full circle with economic and community development is tying in residents and workforce.
Can you share a little bit about the MBA? What is it? What is it all about? How did it get started?
Yeah, so the Manufacturing Business Alliance started back in 2012, and it started with a few manufacturers getting together to look at ways to help figure out how to collaborate on how they can address their workforce needs. And back in 2012, we weren't seeing the workforce shortages like we are now, but they knew it was coming. So it started out by getting a few private employers together, and it just kind of really grew from there. Eventually, I came on board, as well as the chamber, and it just kind of kept growing.
And can you kind of remind me what is your role with the MBA?
Yeah, so with the MBA, I kind of serve as a co-administrator of it, along with the chamber. The MBA is actually housed underneath the Beaver Dam Chamber, but then I do a lot of the outreach with employers, with our schools, with different entities to help educate on what the MBA does, and then also facilitate different activities, things that we do throughout the year.
And that leads me right into, can you go into a little bit about what the MBA really is all about as far as, what is its mission and what are some of the activities and things that the MBA is doing?
Yeah, overall, it's really about growing. It's about maintaining and growing the workforce pipeline for the future for our employers. You just had on here Ben Brewer, and we want to see entities like them stay here and grow here. And one of the things they need is a future workforce. So, a lot of the things that we do throughout the year centers quite a bit actually with our K-12 system. We work with a lot of different school districts, typically the tech departments. And we bring kids out into different facilities where they do tours, they learn about these different facilities and what they have to offer. Most people, when they see a big manufacturing building, they really don't know what goes on. It just looks like a building. So by doing tours and getting kids into those facilities, you kind of help peel back the layers and really show what goes on there. There's a preconceived notion, at least there was in the past. We're kind of trying to change it, but manufacturing was always known as the 3Ds: dumb, dangerous, and dirty. Well, once you actually get into some of these facilities and you see they are not the 3Ds, they're technology advanced, they're clean, they're much different than what is in somebody's mind. So.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I've gotten the opportunity to tour a couple of area manufacturing plants, and it really is amazing how nice those facilities have become these days, because they are very clean. They are very filled with technology. They're very efficient. So it's been really cool. With your time dealing with all that, well, first of all, I should ask, do we know off the top of your head about how many members there are of the MBA these days?
For active members, it's right around 12 to 13.
Okay.
For being very active. However, it goes beyond that. Other entities do join in at different times. All depends on their availability and what they have going on.
Sure.
In terms of schools, in some way or different form, we try to work with almost every school district that touches Dodge County at some point. And I think that's right around 16 perhaps. So typically in, just touch on the tours, since it is October, manufacturing
yes.
month, historically we would always do tours in October. In the past, we would average, anywhere from 200 to 300 or more students going into facilities on these tours. And then on the flip side, we like to get employers into schools so that they can come in and talk about the different career opportunities that are available at their facilities. So it really kind of comes into a two-way relationship.
And I imagine you're helping these employers and these area manufacturers look for any other opportunities as well to get the word out about them and all their opportunities they have available.
Correct. We like to help foster different ways for hands-on activities. As I mentioned before, Brewer Metals, they are a part of the MBA, and I've worked with Ben actually on doing hands-on projects. In fact, we have one underway right now with Dodgeland School as well as Mayville Engineering, and we're building selfie stands to go out in the Dodge County Park system. So not only are we getting materials donated from those manufacturers, but then they're also helping with engineering and helping show how to make bring material together and to look nice in our county park system.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. In your time having been involved with this, is there things you feel like you've learned about manufacturing in our area or manufacturing in general?
Yeah, definitely coming back to the technology aspect and how much that's changing and how much we're seeing more robotics. It does alleviate a little bit maybe on labor side somewhat, but on the other hand, I'm also seeing with new technology, it's opening up new career options that are more advanced for students. So that's kind of interesting, is seeing how things are changing within facilities. We have some of the plants here that talk to people halfway around the world. It's really amazing what goes on in Dodge County, Wisconsin, and how far-reaching it is.
Yeah. So it sounds like working with the schools and building those relationships with students and kind of building that workforce pipeline is a pretty big part of it. Can you talk a little bit about, if people are maybe thinking about getting into manufacturing as a career, what are some of the benefits they should be thinking about as far as why choosing manufacturing for a career?
Well, as a career, typically it pays well. You do see good benefit packages. I know you mentioned that earlier. A lot of these facilities, when people go there to work, they don't leave. And that's for a reason, though they are good jobs. There's also a lot of room for advancement in many of these manufacturing facilities. Maybe you might come in just working on the floor, but there's opportunities to go on further educate and work your way up or go into a different avenue. A lot of times when you think of manufacturing, you just think assembly, production, welding, a lot of those. But in reality, there's a lot of other options available. Engineering is a huge need. You have marketing, graphic design, accounting. You can kind of go down the list there. That there's a lot of different avenues that you can look into. And one other thing I want to kind of give a plug on that's very, very popular in Dodge County is a youth apprenticeship programming.
Yeah,
there's a lot of juniors and seniors in a lot of our different schools that participate in youth apprenticeships, and those are great ways for students to learn about a potential career that maybe they like or maybe they don't like.
Sure.
And it's a good opportunity too for the employer, because the employer can help continue to work on their future pipeline by bringing in youth apprenticeships. So,
Nate Olson is the Community Development Administrator for Dodge County. Nate works closely with the Manufacturers Business Alliance here in Dodge County. As you guys work with the schools and the students and talking to them about careers in manufacturing, are you starting to see some excitement around with the students around kind of some of the technologies that are coming to manufacturing and getting a chance to see some of those and learn about some of those new technologies?
Yeah, especially with with youth and how much more they already are advanced. With technology, you are seeing a lot more of that embraced, and the interest is definitely going up there. I think you're seeing an overall interest in manufacturing rising. I don't see it declining. I see it going the other way up, actually.
Okay.
In Dodge County, it's a pretty significant role for us, considering about 30% of our workforce is in the manufacturing sector.
Sure.
So it's very important for us to put a lot of time and effort into this to help support, what we have here. We want to see entities grow, stay in place, grow here. And then also there's, entities looking to come here. Just because of how much manufacturing is done here, there's other manufacturers that want to be here as well, because business likes doing business, near other business.
Yes, exactly. Nate Olson, the Community Development Administrator for Dodge County. Anything else you want to chat about, or anything else we should know going on with the MBA?
Come check out the Manufacturing Business Alliance's website. It's located underneath the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce's website. It is dodgeregionmba.org. Go on there, learn a little bit more about the MBA. We also have on there videos for some of our MBA members that helps showcase what they do, how they do it, why they do it. It's a great learning tool for not only students, but just residents in general.
Final question for you before we get out of here today. What do you see for the future of manufacturing in Dodge County, or what do you hope for the future of manufacturing here in Dodge County?
I think it's going to continue to be a very strong, important part of Dodge County, and I think you're going to continue to see it grow, to be honest with you.
And we've got a good workforce here, don't we?
Very solid.
Yeah.
Once again, that's another reason why some entities want to come here.
Yeah, very good. Nate Olson is the Community Development Administrator for Dodge County. Nate, great to chat with you and great to meet you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks so much for being here today. Been great to learn a little bit more about manufacturing here in Beaver Dam and the Dodge County area. As you can see, just a very small sampling of the incredible manufacturing. I mean, if you do a deep dive, you're going to be amazed at some of the things you learn about our manufacturers in this area. Our thank you to the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce for throwing this all together. Shout out to Tracy Probst, who is here for moral support today. So thank you, Tracy. Always great to see her, and we look forward to our next visit with the Beaver Dam Chamber of Commerce. That's going to do it for today on Taking Care of Business. The preceding program was a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the Beaver Dam Area Chamber of Commerce, not necessarily those of Good Karma Brands, WBEV, or its employees or management.